My name is Annette Walker and I am a freelance performing artist. I specialise in tap dancing, specifically in improvisation with live music. The highlights of my tap dancing work would have to be the BBC Proms. In 2019, the concert was broadcast from the Royal Albert Hall on BBC television and radio. Aerial arts, the highlight would definitely have to be the London 2012 opening ceremony of the Olympics. I was one of 32 Mary Poppinses and flew into the stadium from its roof. The highlights of my community work or research and teaching work would be the Royal Academy of Dance's pilot programme of their Dance for Lifelong Wellbeing project. I worked as a specialist tap dancer teaching in a nursing home, and my students were between the ages of about 70 and 101. Tap dance is an African American art form, and it has an African aesthetic, which is what a lot of the African American dance scholars write and talk about. I think that tap dancing in the UK, when I was learning it in its very kind of formulaic dance studio format, didn't have any elements of the history, didn't have any elements of its African American roots. It was all about executing steps, which is the practical element of being able to dance. But what really excited me about tap dancing was actually when I started to learn about the history, and I haven't stopped learning about it since. In fact, right now, I am currently a PhD student at the University of Wolverhampton, so I'm doing a PhD in performing arts on tap dancing. So I am looking at restoring the forgotten story of African American choreographer Buddy Bradley, who was a jazz and tap choreographer. What I have been working on most recently is developing a new tap dance program. Working title, Annette Walker's Tap Dance Program. When I had found out that I had won the Black History Month competition 2021, it was quite an exciting time because I had just started working on the program. I had some new students, I had some in-kind space thanks to Jarina Green, and I was really looking to be able to bring in the musicians that I'd been working with in Tomorrow's Warriors and the tap students so that they actually would get to jam and improvise in a nice safe environment that's not about performing, it's just about exploring. So the jazz musicians that ranged from accomplished and well-established jazz artists to emerging and up-and-coming. Really important to me that the connection between a music and dance is kind of maintained, and I think tap dance is a great way of bridging that gap. And the great jazz musicians were able to move and dance and understand translating that language of movement and rhythm. Connecting to the roots of tap is essentially a way of connecting to its African aesthetic. And I think that's really important in the UK because quite often it's an element that I believe can be overlooked or not valued in the same way as its European counterparts, such as in ballet and contemporary or even in classical music. It's a way of expressing myself, it's a language, and essentially I move in tap dance to create rhythm and music.